Years ago, guano miners used to haul bucketfuls of bat crap out of Bracken Cave through this mine shaft. Going into a bat cave, for any reason, was and still is a ridiculously dirty and dangerous, disgusting job. Let's do it.
No one here really harvests bat guano anymore, but today, Bracken Cave, 60 miles outside of Austin, Texas, is the place to be if you're a bat biologist like Jim Kennedy.
Well, whenever I see a respirator and a hard hat, I get a little nervous, and I guess with good reason. Jim, we're in front of Bracken Cave. If I listen very carefully, there's some chirping.
Yeah, you hear a real high-pitched, chittery noise.
Yeah.
That's the bats.
And how many bats are in there?
Well, right now there's probably close to 40 million.
40 million.
Yes, we have lots of bats. In fact, this is the largest known concentration of warm-blooded animals anywhere on the planet.
Why do I have to wear this in there?
If you don't, you're going to die. To put it pretty bluntly.
Good tip.
Not only is it hot and humid in the cave, but there's very high levels of carbon dioxide, and what's worse is the ammonia. On the floor of the cave, there's a kind of beetle called a dermestid beetle, which is a flesh-eating beetle. And when these beetles are feeding off of the guano and other things, they're producing a lot of ammonia as a byproduct. And it gets really high levels. If we didn't have the respirators, your eyes would burn, your throat and lungs would burn, you would soon pass out and be stripped to the bone by all those beetles.
I have a gray t-shirt and you have a fancy crimson and blue nylon-treated rubber bat suit.
Pretty spiffy.
Yeah, one of us didn't get the memo. Let's go batting.
Okay.
Even without an official bat suit, I soldier on toward the mysteries of Bracken Cave.
Watch those loose rocks.
Between the rocks and the mosquitoes and the mites and the flesh-eating bugs.
Oh, you gotta keep your eye open for snakes, too.
Good. Any particular type of snake?
Occasional rattlesnake. We get coach whips, but we don't worry about them.
So I'm thinking the respirator has to go on before the helmet?
Respirator first, helmet on top.
Man, it really stinks.
Yeah. You gotta sound like Darth Vader. No, I am your father.
Our force is strong with this one.
Very good. Get your helmet. Should sit right on the front there. Perfect. Let me angle your headlight a little. There you go. All right, let's pick our way down the slope. All right.
As I descended into the darkness, I found myself ankle-deep in dried bat droppings.
Are we walking in sand or guano? That's powdered bat guano. Holy sh**. I don't know if it's holy. It's definitely sh**.
Jim's primary mission is to monitor the bats and their living conditions to ensure that the population is not being threatened by outside forces. Several times a year, Jim must venture into Bracken Cave to inspect the roost and chart any variations in temperature.
You feeling the rain yet? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're pissing all over me. They're a little nervous and excited, you know? Yeah, I do. Hey, Mike, come here. I want to show you something. Remember what the temperature I told you was in the cave normally when the bats aren't here? Like 68? About 68. This is an infrared thermometer. Whenever a beam goes out and hits it, it comes back and it tells us the temperature. The floor right now, 86 degrees. Let's shoot up the ceiling. You know, hot air rises. Let's see what we got up here. Might be a little hard because all the bats flying around. About 90 degrees. No wonder we're sweating. Explain to me again, Jim, exactly why you're down here. I know you're taking temperatures, but I mean, why? Why? Well, you know, the bats are important. And because they congregate in just a few caves, they're very vulnerable, too. So we need to keep track of their populations. We need to see how they're doing. You know, are the bats still reproducing? Are they still giving birth? Or is the population declining? Where are they roosting in the cave? We want to see if the cave is still suitable for them. Yeah, let's go a little further back in the caves. All right, I want to show you something here. All right.
Jim also gets hands-on with the bats, checking them for parasites and signs of disease.
There you get to see a Mexican free-tail bat up close. Look at that. Nice, long, narrow wings.
Right.
These guys are flying long distances.
How far do they fly?
Well, each night they're flying, maybe 100, 150 miles to get to their foraging area.
Right?
But in the wintertime, they're flying down into Mexico. That's why we call them Mexican free-tailed bats. And they're roosting in caves down there. They don't hibernate, they stay active year-round.
Right?
But they're flying somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 miles to get to their winter roosts.
That's incredible. How much do they eat?
They're eating at least their body weight every night.
And that's why we're standing in.
Tons of guano. The bats each night, this colony alone is eating over 200 tons of insects.
That's amazing.
That's a lot of byproduct, yeah.
So tell me what's going on here, Jim.
Well, you see on the surface lots of fresher bat droppings. They're not all broken down into little dust like we were seeing before. There actually are pellets now. We also see the remains of the bats that didn't make it. You got a lot of young bats that on their first flight, they've never flown before, they're dropping out, and a lot of them just crash and burn. We also get some older bats, some adults and so on as they get older, and some of them eventually die in here as well. And these bugs here on the floor, these are the domestic beetles and their larvae, they're taking advantage of that.
It's incredible. It's like the whole floor is moving.
Yeah.
You know what? It's getting hard to breathe.
Yeah, let's go out.
As we headed back to the surface, I learned that getting into Bracken Cave was a whole lot easier than getting out.
Whoa.
Little soft there, be careful.
Jim.
Yeah. It's not quicksand, it's quick guano.
Oh, crap. I walked out of my boot. Hang on a minute.
Let me get to some drier spot. I can give you a better hand.
Oh,
Yeah, really. Okay, let's try and back up the way we came in. There you go.
Always get the right size boot.
You gonna take that light?
Yeah.
It's like quicksand, lean forward. Get your body weight out. All right.
I'm stuck in guano. Hold on. I'm trying to save the boot.
Yeah, now I'm going in.
Because I don't want to walk out with bare feet. All right, that's one. How about if I sit down?
You can try that, or lay down flat.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
All right. In quicksand.
Quicksand.
What a stupid way to die.
Making some progress.
Maybe the key is to get my leg out and then get the boot.
Okay, can you do that?
I'm gonna try.
Move the gear.
All right, there's my foot. Watch where it comes from.
I'm watching, I'm seeing the boot.
All right?
Yeah. Okay. That is hot in there.
Yeah.
Success!
Oh, man. You know how to show a guy a good time.
It sure is a dirty job, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh,
No. Unfortunately, lots of Oh, you want me to touch that?
This is your cave, pal, not mine.
Don't worry, we'll hose you down when we get out.
Oh, I bet you say that to all the guys. Look at that. That's unbelievable. Well, this little episode we'll just keep between you and me, if you don't mind.
I won't say how
Thanks.
you stumbled into guano almost to your death.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Man, oh man.
Yeah. Let's take our time going out, because if we start breathing hard, it's gonna be really tough. Yeah. You know, Mike, no matter how much I like caves, it's always good to get out.
No kidding.
Particularly bat caves.
Oh, God. I think I got a mite in my ear.
Huh. That's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my life.
It is so hard to describe. People ask me, well, what do you really do as a bat biologist? How do you tell them what that's like? You can't. Words just fail.
Thanks for pulling me out of the crap earlier. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, that's just a flesh-eating beetle.
Hey, didn't you want to stick around and watch the emergence?
Say, that sounds swell, Jim.
At least we don't have to be in it.
You gotta be in it to win it. Now, let's get some of this poop off and watch some bats fly around.
Yeah, let's wash up and...
Another sentence I didn't think I'd ever utter.